Jason Wygant here for your recap of the next to last round of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship, the sands of Southwick, Massachusetts, and the Motocross 338 race facility. We'll go to the 250 class first. Crazy day of racing. The points leader, Christophe Pourcel, gets a bad start, while Blake Wharton in the 61 Honda gets the lead from Ryan Dungey early on. Dungey would make the pass on Wharton and get into the number one spot. Wharton's teammate Justin Barcia would pass Wharton to get into second. Barcia never let Dungey off the hook. Dungey desperately needed to win this moto to score maximum points, but then he would go off the racetrack, allow Barcia in the number one spot. Dungey rode his heart out to try to get back around the rookie, but it was all for naught. Justin Barcia was headed to the moto victory for the first time ever in his pro career. As for Pourcel, the news would go from bad to worse. He scratched and clawed his way up to fifth, and then his bike quits. He would end up with 0 points for the moto and did not finish. That gives Dungey the points lead heading into Moto 2. And it would get even crazier there, because our first moto winner, Barcia, gets stuck in the gate along with the number 43 of Brock Tickle. Barcia's way back, but then Pourcel and Dungey would get stuck together in turn one. Pourcel would stall his bike. He would be even further back than Barcia was, and Barcia got stuck in the gate. Dungey would put on a radical charge to try to get to the front of the pack and make up more points on his championship rival. While out front, Tyler Rattray, the defending world champion who has struggled a bit in the U.S., would win wire to wire with Brett Metcalf behind him. That's the first moto victory of the season for Rattray. We thought he would have a shot at the overall, but somehow, someway, Barcia just kept coming and coming and coming. He would eventually catch Dungey as they were fighting for a top five, then pass Dungey. Taylor Futrell, a rookie, ran third most of the way in this race. Get a little tired at the end. Eventually, Barcia was able to get to the number 3 spot, and unbelievably, with 1-3 scores, Justin Barcia would take his first ever overall win, and Ryan Dungey a 30-point swing in the championship chase, because Pourcel would only get to 11th in Moto 2. That sets up a dramatic championship run next week at Steel City in Delmont, Pennsylvania. But even all that action in the 250 class was not as dramatic as what we had in the 450s. Let's go to Moto 1. Chad Reed and Jake Moss, two Australians battling for the early lead. Reed would get that number one spot, hold it all the way to the end. Robbie Marshall, a newcomer out of Massachusetts, would keep the heat on the 42 of Moss for a while. The Southwick, Massachusetts fans were pumped on that. Michael Byrne in the number 4 position would keep the heat on Marshall. Late in the race, the very last lap, Marshall would miss out on a chance at a podium with a crash that would put Byrne in third and make it a 1-2-3 sweep for the Australians. So you've got to figure in Moto 2, Chad Reed is just going to work on another overall victory. Andrew Short is going to grab the whole shot of the Red Bull Racing Honda. He would lead a few laps. Reed would get by him, and it looked like it was checkout sayonara time for Reedy. But then, something Reed almost never does. He crashes out of the moto, a violent wreck over this hill. Reed is knocked out, almost literally. He's done for the day. Opening the overall up to, we don't even know who. Matt Gerke would take the lead, another replacement rider on the factory Yamaha. He was 6th in Moto 1, and that would actually give him enough points to win the overall if he could hold off the hometown favorite, 44-year-old, semi-retired privateer John Dowd in second, keeping heat on Gerke all the way down to the finish. The fans of Southwick were pumped. Dowd would end up second in front of Byrne, but Matt Gerke would win the moto and, in improbable fashion, take his first ever professional overall win, delivering for the Yamaha squad in just his 3rd race for the team. One race left in the books. If this one, as Southwick is any indication, Steel City is going to be nuts. Be there. It's just outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. AllySports.com for all the information. I'm Jason Wygant. Thanks for watching.